I'm glad you found this Movember practice regarding the Will Rogers phenomenon, prostate health, and mental health. For this practice, which is a very grounded vinyasa practice, you might need some blocks. You're definitely going to need a strap or a sock that you could use as a strap. There is a playlist that's associated with this practice. We didn't necessarily use it for this Movember 2024 recording, but I'll put the link in the description. And let's get started. So if you decided to use the playlist, go ahead and start your music.
So we are going to get started on your back, unless you really have your heart set on starting somewhere else, in which case feel free to go where you're comfortable. Wherever you go, you want to make sure that your legs are in a position that's comfortable for your low back and hips, and that your arms are in a position that's comfortable for your neck and shoulders. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then let's set a group intention. May all of us together be protected. May all of us together be nourished. May we work together with great energy. May our study together be brilliant and effective. May we not hate or dispute with one another. May there be peace within us, peace all around us, peace to and from everything and everyone we encounter. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep open mouth sigh. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep sigh out. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Open your mouth and sigh it out. And then as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose, bring your awareness to the air flowing over your mo. What? No mo? Well, I mean, it is only the 4th. And as I mentioned yesterday, Movember and No Shavember, when Mo bros, Mo sisters, most siblings, and Mo folks change the face of men's health, it's always been more about the inside than about the outside. So take a moment to go a little deeper inside. On your next inhale, begin your Ujjayi Pranayama, breath of victory. Bring a slight constriction to the back of your throat as you inhale through your nose, maintaining that constriction as you exhale through your nose, creating an audible and expansive breath, an oceanic and heat-building breath, a detoxifying breath, a breath that brings your awareness to this month dedicated to changing the face of men's health. This month of awareness started in Melbourne, Australia in 2004, but has origins in a 1999 story about a group in Adelaide, South Australia that coined the word Movember. The Adelaide group of about 80 spent the month growing whiskers for whiskers, possibly while drinking whiskey, since they started in a pub, while also raising money for the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals by selling Movember t-shirts. And then there were these 2 brothers and 2 of their friends who started the Melbourne group in 2004. 30 Mo bros got together to raise awareness for prostate cancer and men's mental health, specifically related to depression. They didn't realize they were starting a movement, that just a year later, almost 500 people would join the original 30 and raise over $40,000 for the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia, the PCFA's largest donation at the time. Today, the Movember Foundation is an official charity in Australia, and the movement is spread all over the world. And as I mentioned, it's all about changing the statistics, right? As Amelia Karakar, a program official at the National Institute on Aging, was quoted as saying last year, as long as records have been kept in all countries, women have lived longer than men. Across basically almost every major cause of death, men are more likely to die than women. And a few years after I started doing this, people started asking, well, does it make a difference? And I would say, yes, I have anecdotal evidence, but there's also scientific evidence that raising awareness actually can change health outcomes. And so as we move through this practice, I'm going to mention a little bit about how that works. I'll also be offering prenatal variations as well as modifications if you want to skip the arm balancing. And remember that child's pose, balasana, is your modification for every pose. You can go there at any time. Take a deep breath in. Take a deeper breath out. And join the sequence when you're ready. Next time you inhale, take a full body stretch. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. As you exhale, if you're not on your back or seated, move around where you are. If you're everyone else, as you exhale, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Prenatal variation is to keep your feet on the floor. Drop your knees over to one side and then the other side. If you're on your back and you're not pregnant, you could bring your knees into your chest, rotate your knees around in a circle in one direction, and then the other direction. If you're not on your back or seated, mix your movement up a little bit. Everyone else, when your feet are on the floor, you can get into your hip flexors by opening your knees wide as you exhale, bring the knees back together as you inhale. If your knees are in your chest, you can separate your knees, rotate them in circles towards each other, and then away from each other. And then prenatal variation is to roll over to sit up, roll to the left to sit up. Everyone else, you can roll over or bring your hands to your bottom, slide your fingers up to the creases of your knees, and just like a child on a swing, rock up and back 5 or 6 times. Angle your body so you tap each corner of the mat at least once with both feet. And then after that 5th or 6th rock, come up to a comfortable seated position, half lotus, full lotus, or no lotus. If there's compression in your low back and hips, sit up on top of something. If you have any pain or discomfort in your low back and hips, you could come into a kneeling pose like hero's pose, knees together, feet apart, sitting on the floor or a prop between your ankles, or thunderbolt, knees and feet the same distance apart, toes curled under, sitting on your heels or a prop between your heels, or in auspicious pose with your feet together behind you, knees apart, sitting on your soles or a prop between your soles. Either way, hands together at heart center or one hand at your heart, one hand at your belly. Take a moment to bring your awareness to your goal, your desire, your reason for being on the mat today. How does this goal or desire impact your health? Physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, symbolically. And then consider how your goal or desire serves those around you. Maybe you bring your awareness to someone with whom you'd like to have a conversation about health, yours or theirs, or maybe someone you've never met, someone you will never meet, someone who's in a situation where it's very hard for them to get the health care they need. But either way, offer up your efforts as a loving and compassionate dedication. Let's unify the breath. Exhale all your air out. Take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Open your mouth and sigh out. And then resume your ujjayi. Breathe in through your nose with that slight constriction at the back of your throat. Exhale through your nose. Fill up as you inhale. Empty out completely as you exhale. Next time you inhale, blink your eyes open. As you exhale, relax your arms down. Hug your knees into your armpits as you inhale. Give them a squeeze. And then come into a bound angle pose. Feet together like a prayer. Knees open up like the page of that book. You can have your heels in close to your hips, activating your adductors, or you can take your heels a little bit away from your body, activating your abductors, the hip flexors along your backside. If you're slumping down in this position, sit up on top of something. If your knees are up higher than your hips, you could sit up on top of something. You could also put a prop under one or both thighs. Either way, bring your hands to your feet, either pressing the soles of your feet together or using your hands to rotate the soles up. Sit up nice and tall. Listen, as you inhale, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, engage your pelvic floor, like squeeze your perineum muscles together like you're trying not to go to the bathroom. So that's that Mula Bandha, that root lock. That's the beginning of a Kegel exercise. If you were someone who is getting ready to have a baby, your doctor, your healthcare practitioner would recommend that you do Kegel exercises, but it's also good for men's health. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lean forward a little bit, just a little bit, and see if that changes your engagement of your pelvic floor. Is it easier, or do you have more awareness here? Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you can stay here or fold forward. Yesterday I had a really light mustache. Said, it's just coming in. Today it's a little darker, but still pretty pencil thin. It's my homage to Will Rogers, who was born today in 1879 in Cherokee Nation Indian Territory in what is now Oklahoma. Will Rogers was known as America's cowboy philosopher, Oklahoma's favorite son, and also ambassador to the world. He was a cowboy and circus performer, a stage and motion picture actor, as well as a vaudeville performer, a humorist, and a syndicated newspaper columnist. He was also a Cherokee citizen who traveled the world 3 times and was at one time the highest paid Hollywood star. Will Rogers was known for his folksy down-home wit and his rope tricks. His smile, attitude, and intellect allowed him to make fun of everyone, from politicians to gangsters. There's a Will Rogers joke there. And everything from prohibition to gender interactions, which there's probably a joke in there too. And he once joked that his ancestors weren't on the Mayflower, but they, and I quote, met the boat. I was proud of the fact that while he could joke about everyone, he never met a man he didn't like. He once said when the Okies left Oklahoma and moved to California, it raised the IQ of both states. And that joke actually comes up in science. It's the reference point for something called the Will Rogers phenomena. Clinically, it's stage migration. Next time you inhale, lift your body up. As you exhale, hug your knees into your armpits, give them a little squeeze. You can lean back on your hands or on your forearms or lie down on your back again, and then gently, mindfully windshield wiper your legs. So stage migration is what happens when one group of people moves into a different group of people. And it changes health outcomes. It's something that we find in mental health circles, but it's also something that is specifically, and originally the idea of the Will Rogers phenomena was first attributed or associated with prostate cancer and prostate cancer outcomes. For those of you that may not know, prostate is a walnut-sized gland just between the bladder and the penis that is related to semen production and semen protection. And because the urethra goes through that walnut-sized gland, sometimes problems with the prostate first show up as problems urinating. If you're skipping the arm balancing, you could make your way back into your seated position. If you started cross-legged and you're going back into a cross-legged position, change the cross of your legs. Everyone else, make your way to tabletop with hands and knees to the mat or forearms and knees to the mat. If you're on your forearms, cross your arms. Make sure you can grab opposite bicep with opposite hand, no matter which arm is in front, and then bring the wrist out in front. So tabletops, you want shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, or wrists in front of the elbows. As you exhale, gaze between your knees. Make sure your ankles are active, big toes parallel to each other. If your arms are extended in tabletop, as you inhale, walk your arms forward in front of your shoulders. And then everyone, as you exhale, round your spine like a Halloween cat, or you can sink your hips to your heels for puppy dog. Inhale, lift your heart up to cow pose. Exhale, into your cat or into your puppy dog. Same thing when you're seated. Extend the spine as you inhale, which is what your spine already wants to do. As you exhale, flex, maybe fold. Listen, next time you inhale, lift your heart up. As you exhale, widen your knees a little bit, maybe as wide as your mat, maybe a little wider, just where your hips are comfortable. If you're seated, you can also stretch your legs out wide. Feet can be apart, or you can bring your feet together. If you're seated on your sit bones, definitely bring your feet together back into that bound angle pose. And then inhale, lift your heart up to cow. As you exhale, round your spine into that cat pose with your legs wider than normal, or you can sink your hips back to your heels. Move through one more full cycle of breath. And then next time you exhale, sink your hips back to your heels for child's pose or puppy dog. If you're seated, again, you can also take that forward fold or go back into your child's pose or puppy dog. And just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale, engaging your pelvic floor. Prenatal variation is going to be cow pose, sphinx with a little cushion under your hips and thighs, tadasana on your knees or sit bones, or high plank. Everyone else, as you inhale, drag your body forward, lift your heart up dog, cobra, cow, tadasana, high plank or sphinx, and hold and breathe. Press down in order to lift up, roll the shoulders down and back. So again, stage migration is where improved detection of an illness leads to a change in the average life expectancy of people who are clinically healthy, and also the average life expectancy of people who are considered unhealthy. Next time you exhale, you can press back to tabletop, or if you're skipping the arm balancing, make your way to your standing half lift position. Tabletops, again, stack shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, or wrists in front of the elbows, hips over your knees. As you exhale, gaze between your knees. Make sure your ankles are active, big toes parallel to each other. Inhale to cow pose or half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog, dolphin dog if you're on your forearms, or if you're skipping the arm balance, you can hold that half lift or come into a standing forward fold. Downward facing dog, this is your first Adho Mukha Svanasana. So take a moment to check your asana, check your seat, or just start with your hands and feet. Take a moment to make sure your fingers are spread wide, middle fingers point forward, joints of the thumb and first finger pressed into the mat. As you relax your head and shoulders, take a moment to make sure your big toes are parallel to each other. Big toes behind your thumbs or behind your middle fingers. Dolphin dogs, you want big toes behind your elbows. Even in a standing half lift or forward fold, you could separate your legs for more stability. Either way, press your spine to your thighs, thigh bones to the wall behind you, hips high, heels low. As you exhale, bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, find a little bit of cow pose, just a little extra extension through your spine. As you exhale, downward facing dogs, rotate the pointy part of your elbows towards your big toes and a little closer to your nose. Take a moment to scan your body. Maybe express a little gratitude for the sensation, the information that informs your practice. And then with awareness, as well as with gratitude, start to move. You can bend your knees one at a time or at the same time. Lift one leg high and then the other, or lift up an arm. You could add a twist. You could come back to your knees, but whatever you do on one side, do something similar or complementary on the other side. Move through one more full cycle of breath. And then on your next exhale, find a moment of stillness. As you inhale, nod your head yes to knowing your family history. As you exhale, shake your head no to ignoring something that seems a little off in your mind or in your body. And as you inhale, nod your head yes to the joy of the Will Rogers phenomenon and better health all the way around. As you inhale, stretch back. Exhale, walk your hands to your feet or bring your hands and feet together. Once your heels are on the mat, inhale to your half lift, flat back. Exhale, hands on your thighs or bend your elbows and knees and put your elbows on your thighs. Either way, as you inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, press your shoulders to your hips. Even if you have to bend your knees here, as you inhale, find a little bit of cow pose. Your heart's forward, gaze is forward. As you exhale, zip up. Again, spread your toes, squeeze your perineum muscles together, belly button up and back. Or that prenatal variation is to close that funky zipper that runs down your sacrum through your pelvic floor up to your belly button. Next time you exhale, bring your hands to your hips, core engages. Pressing down as you inhale, lift your whole body up. As you exhale, relax your arms down. Follow your breath. As you inhale, touch the walls, touch the ceiling. As you exhale, press your hands together in between all that space so your brain starts to find your body in space. Same movement as you inhale creates more space for your heart in the world. Exhale, get grounded, get centered in this heart space. This time as you inhale, lift up, reach up. As you exhale, you can walk, you can roll, you can give us a twirl or boot scoot boogie. You can march or tiptoe, but make your way to the front of the mat. If you're giving us a twirl, make sure you twirl around the other direction. And then once you're at the front of the mat, facing the front of the mat, hands at heart center. Take a deep breath in, remember your intention. Deep breath out, remember your dedication. And then next time you inhale, separate your feet, turn your toes out, heels in as you exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. As you exhale, bend your elbows and knees, hands to heart center as you sink down into a squat. You can stay up high in a horse goddess pose or down low in a yogi prayer squat. You can even sit on top of something here. Either way, press your palms together and spread your fingers wide. In the same way, press your feet down and spread your toes wide. Elbows and knees out to the side. As you inhale, lift your pubic bone and your heart up. As you exhale, relax your shoulders and your sit bones down. And then press down as if you're going to stand up. Press down into your feet as if you're going to stand up. Notice how that engages your pelvic floor. And then intentionally engage your pelvic floor, squeezing your perineum muscles together, engaging your lower abdominal cavity. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, fold forward. Turn your toes straight ahead. Inhale to your half lift, flat back. Stay here if you have low back issues, unregulated blood pressure, or eye issues like glaucoma. Stay here if you have arthritis in your hips, your low back, or this just feels good. Everyone else, as you exhale, flex and fold. Take any variation of Uttanasana that you like. You could take ragdoll, grabbing opposite bicep with opposite hand. You could take chest expansion, interlacing your hands behind your back, or wrap your arms around your legs. Classic Uttanasana is to press your hands to the floor or prop. Extend through your spine as you also extend through your legs. And let something go. Let something roll off your back. As recently as 2019, Italian researchers were studying how improved diagnostic scanning could improve life expectancy as well as quality of life for patients with a certain type of prostate cancer. Another example of this stage migration in prostate cancer was documented in 2005 by researchers at the University of Connecticut Health Center in Farmington, Connecticut. Researchers noted a decline in the reported incidence of low-grade prostate cancer and therefore a change of overall life expectancy of people with prostate cancer. Next time you exhale, release your bind. If your back is healthy, bend your knees and roll up one vertebrae at a time. If you're having some back issues, inhale to your half lift. Exhale, hands to your hips, core engages. Pressing down as you inhale, lift your whole body up. If you're rolling up, shoulders come up before your neck, neck before your head. Once you're upright, use as much or as little of the arms as you like. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. Do that one more time to get into the front of the heart. And then again into the back of the heart. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, roll the shoulders down and forward. 2 more times. In that Connecticut study, based on a population-based cohort of 1,858 men, 75 years or older, the researchers compared prognosis and outcomes of prostate tissue retrieved and reread from 2002 to 2004. Next time you inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. Take a moment to bring your feet together or just 2 fists width apart. And the study was based on original Gleason scoring readings versus more contemporary interpretations of the Gleason score. Next time you inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive. Take your whole breath. Bring your heart to your thighs. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, right leg steps back, low lunge. Take a deep breath in to extend. Exhale, left hip back, shoulders relax. Squeeze your thighs together as you inhale. As you exhale, zip up, engage your core. Again, spread your toes, squeeze your perineum muscles together, belly button up and back, or close that funky zipper. But either way, let the weight come out of your fingertips. Let a little heaviness come out of your heart. And then breathe into your heart. Actually, breathe all the way down your spine, into your pelvic floor, into your soles. And as you exhale, breathe back up again. Next time you exhale, listen, hands to the mat. Step your left foot up to meet the right as you inhale to your half lift, flat back. Exhale, full exhale, step your left leg back into your low lunge. Deep breath in to extend. Exhale, right hip back, shoulders relax. Squeeze your thighs towards each other as you inhale. As you exhale, zip up, engage your core. Again, let the weight come out of your fingertips. Let a little heaviness come out of your heart. And then breathe into your heart, into your pelvic floor, into your soles. I mentioned the Gleason score a moment ago, and the Gleason score is a combination of 2 quote-unquote grades assigned to the 2 most dominant tissue cell patterns, with the lowest grade being the closest to normal or healthy tissue. And the more contemporary readings changed which tissue patterns were considered low-grade cancer, hence the decline in population numbers. However, they also found that since the contemporary score readings were significantly higher than the original readings, the overall mortality rate lowered by 28%. Next time you exhale, plant your hands. You can step back to downward facing dog or puppy dog, or step forward into your standing forward fold. Inhale, high plank, cow pose or half lift. Exhale, chaturanga, puppy dog, lower all the way down or fold forward. Inhale, up dog, cobra, cow, tadasana, high plank or sphinx, and hold and breathe. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So both the study in Italy and the study in Connecticut are examples of the Will Rogers phenomena, examples of stage migration. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, you can press back to tabletop, lower all the way down or fold forward. Inhale, high plank, cow pose or half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog, dolphin dog, or come into your standing half lift or forward fold. Eyes on your nose, your belly button, or the space between your toes. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Notice what's shifted, notice what's changed. And then next time you inhale, stretch back. As you exhale, walk your hands to your feet or bring your hands and feet together. Once your heels are on the mat, inhale to your half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms lift, heart lifts. As you exhale, you can walk, you can roll, you can boot scoot boogie, you can march or give us a twirl to the front of the mat. And then if you're twirling, twirl around in the other direction. Once you're at the front of the mat, facing the front of the mat, as you inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive. Take your whole breath. Bring your heart to your thighs. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, step your left leg back into a low lunge. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, left knee down, left toes back. Give yourself cushion or support as you like it or as you need it. You can put cushion under that left knee or under the left ankle, or support under the left shin if you want to float the knee. Either way, press into the top of the left foot, bottom of the right foot. As you inhale, lift your heart up, hands across your right thigh. As you exhale, bring your hips over your back knee. Lift your pubic bone up as you inhale. As you exhale, zip up, engage your core. Inhale your arms overhead into your crescent lunge. As you exhale, find your heart open experience. Palms can be together or apart overhead. You can bring your palms together, bend your elbows, inverting your namaskar. Elbows wide, shoulders down your back. You can take goalpost arms or strong arms or angel arms or Hanuman arms, opening up your heart, or even chest expansion. Even if you bring your hands back to your right thigh or to your low back, press down in order to lift up. You can see evidence of stage migration in a lot of different areas just by the fact that it used to be that this time of year we would talk about how men die an average of 6 years earlier than women, and for reasons that are largely preventable, which means that it doesn't have to be that way. We can take action to live healthier and happier and longer lives. But now the average life expectancy difference is 4.5 years. As you inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hands through heart center to the inside of your right foot. Prenatal variation is runner's lunge, right foot up and out at a 45-degree angle. Everyone else, you can keep your right toe straight ahead or take that external restraint. Either way, as you inhale, bring your right hand to your right thigh. As you exhale, rotate your heart to the right. You can keep your right hand on your right thigh, pressing into your right hand with the same awareness that you're reaching down through the left hand, or you can reach your right arm up, reaching up with the same awareness that you're reaching down. Either option is going to take weight out of the left hand. So there's an example of stage migration. Shoulders down your back. You can keep your left knee down no matter which variation you're in. Or next time you exhale, curl the left toes under. Inhale, lift your left thigh high. In any given year, 1 in 2 men will be diagnosed with cancer versus 1 in 3 women. And again, studies show that 1/3 of all cancers are preventable through diet, exercise, and other lifestyle choices. Those same lifestyle choices also benefit everyone's cardiovascular systems, digestive systems, and mental health. Next time you exhale, hands to the mat, inhale to your low lunge. Exhale, left foot comes up to meet the right, folding forward. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, right leg steps back, low lunge. Take a deep breath in to extend. As you exhale, bring your right knee down, right toes back. Give yourself cushion or support as you like it or as you need it. And then create that dynamic tension. Press into the top of the right foot, bottom of the left foot. As you inhale, lift your heart up. Hands across your left thigh. As you exhale, bring your hips over your right knee. Lift your pubic bone up as you inhale. As you exhale, zip up, engage your core. Inhale your arms overhead into your Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, find your heart open experience. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then next time you inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, hands come through heart center to the inside of your left leg. Prenatal variation is runner's lunge, left foot up and out at a 45-degree angle. Everyone else, you can keep your left toe straight ahead or turn the left toes out. Either way, inhale your left hand to your left thigh. As you exhale, rotate your heart to the left. You can stay here, pressing down with the same awareness in the left hand with the same awareness you're reaching down through the right hand. Or as you inhale, lift the left arm up with the same awareness that you're reaching down. Despite all the statistics and research about lifestyle choices, a large percent of men are overweight, with 42.4% of Americans in general dealing with obesity and 9.2% with severe obesity. However, I always mention that term obese is really tricky, especially here in the United States, because our metrics can diagnose a very fit and muscular person as obese when they're actually quite healthy. You can keep your right knee down, or next time you exhale, curl the back toes under. Inhale, lift your back thigh high. So consider this. 13.6% of men over the age of 18 consider themselves in fair to poor health, and many suffer from diabetes and heart disease without even knowing it. Skin cancer is on the rise for all genders and is the most common cancer diagnosis for men, followed by prostate cancer. But all of these cancers are treatable and recoverable. And it's not only that men have to worry about skin cancer or prostate cancer or testicular cancer, but also about breast cancer. And so these cancers have a genetic component, right? The risk of both prostate cancer and testicular cancer increase if someone has a brother or father who has had that particular cancer, if a person has African American ancestry, and in the case of testicular cancer, if they've had it previously before. Next time you exhale, hands to the mat, inhale to your low lunge, right thigh is high, exhale, downward facing dog, puppy dog, or come into your standing forward fold. Inhale, high plank, cow pose, or half lift. Exhale, chaturanga, puppy dog, lower all the way down or fold forward. Inhale, lift your heart up dog, cobra, cow, tadasana, high plank or sphinx. Exhale, downward facing dog, take the extra push up or fold forward. Eyes on your nose, your belly button, or the space between your toes. Take a deep breath in, just like this. Deep breath out, just like this. And all the aspects of poor health take a mental health toll in a typical year. But then we've had all these atypical years. Listen, next time you exhale, bring your knees to the mat, and then you can either turn your whole body to the left or turn your whole body to the right. It doesn't matter which way you turn. I'm not going to make any judgments about that. But either way, once you've turned your body in one direction or the other, stretch your legs out in front of you as wide as they'll go. So again, if you're slumping down here, sit up on top of something. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lean your body forward, stretching your hands out in front of you the way that you would for downward facing dog with the elbows extended, or you can bring your forearms to the floor like a dolphin dog, or even bring your forearms down to a prop. But either way, find a little bit of cow pose here with your heart forward as you inhale. Press your shoulders and your sit bones back. Flex your ankles as you exhale. Make sure you're engaging your pelvic floor here. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. If you're having some back issues or some hip flexors, especially if they're disc related, lift your heart up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, rotate your upper body to the right. Everyone else, as you exhale, you can just crawl your body over to the right. If you crawl over, keep the left side of your body rotated down. Maybe reach your left hand towards your toes. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Next time you inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, you can crawl or you can rotate to the left. Again, if you crawl over to the left, keep the right side of your body rotated down. Maybe even reach that right hand towards your left toes. Take one more inhale, one more exhale. As you inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, let your body relax and release. You can keep your hands in front of you, or you can stretch your arms out and bind off. All your fingers to all your toes, peace fingers to the big toes. Hold on to your outer arch ankles or shins, or if you have two straps, you can use them to bridge the gap. But again, send your heart forward as you inhale. Press the shoulders and the sit bones back as you exhale. Next time you inhale, lift your heart up, keeping your legs wide. As you exhale, bring your right hand outside of your right thigh. As you inhale, stretch your left arm up. Exhale, reach it over. So if you have disc-related issues, keep your shoulders pretty much over your hips. Everyone else, you can bring your right hand inside of your right thigh, bend your elbows, bring it down to a prop or the thigh or the floor, and stretch your left arm over your ear like you're going to touch your right toes. Maybe you even touch your right toes. in that lateral extension. But keep your heart rotated up. And then as you inhale, lift your body up. Exhale, left hand outside of your left thigh. Inhale, stretch your right arm up. Exhale, reach it over. Again, maybe you stay here, or you could bring your left hand inside of your left thigh, bend the elbow so it comes down to the thigh or the prop or the floor. And then that right arm reaches over your head towards your toes, keeping your heart rotated up. As you inhale, lift your body up. Exhale, hug your knees into your armpits, give them a little squeeze. You can turn back to the front of the mat if you like. If you'd rather not balance on your sit bones, you could lie down on your back and lift your heels up so hips, knees, and ankles are at 90 degrees with your heels parallel to the floor. Everyone else, knees in your armpits as a prenatal option, or knees in your chest if you're not pregnant. Prenatal option is to bring your hands behind your back. Everyone else, bring your hands between your heels and your hips. Lift your heart up as you inhale. Exhale, press through your arms, lean back, bring your heels up parallel to the floor. So your knees are as close to 90 degrees as possible, shoulders down your back. Take a moment to zip up, make yourself a little lighter. Spread your toes, squeeze your perineum muscles together, belly button up and back, or close that funky zipper. As you inhale, straighten or bring your arms up parallel to your legs. Shoulders down your back. As you inhale, lift the corners of your mouth up towards your ears. Exhale, relax your jaw. You can stay here with your knees bent, or as you inhale, straighten your legs out. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. You can either bring your knees down, feet down, and just hold here, legs stretched out in front of you, or as you exhale, cross your ankles, rock forward as you plant your hands. Inhale, high plank, table, or half lift. Exhale, chaturanga, puppy dog, lower all the way down or fold forward. Inhale, lift your heart up dog, cobra, cow, tadasana, high plank, or sphinx. Exhale, downward facing dog, take the extra push up or fold forward. If you went into that downward facing dog or dolphin dog or standing forward fold, make your way back into dandasana staff pose, sitting down with your legs stretched out in front of you. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, hug your right knee into your armpit, and then drop your right knee over to the right so the right sole is up against some part of your left inseam. So you're going to take an Urdhva Shirshasana here. If you have a strap, you're going to put it on your heel with your arms extended, your spine extended. And as you inhale, press down and look up. Shoulders down your back. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And the next time you exhale, drop your chin down, release your bind, hug your right knee back into your armpit. And then as you exhale, stretch the right leg out. Take a deep breath in, sitting up tall in your Dandasana staff pose. Exhale, left knee in, and then to your left armpit, and then drop the left knee out to the side. Put a strap on your right heel. Arms extend, spine extends. As you inhale, press down, look up, and relax your jaw. Take one more inhale, just like this. One more exhale, just like this. And then next time you exhale, lower your chin down, rotate your left knee up, give it a little squeeze, and then stretch your left leg out in front of you as you inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your armpits, give them a little squeeze. If you're not comfortable on your back, you can stretch your legs back out in front of you in Dandasana staff pose. That's going to be the prenatal option. Everyone else, you can lower down to your back. Once you're on your back, you can take a full body stretch, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. And then everyone, as you exhale, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Lengthen through your low back as you inhale. As you exhale, hug your right knee into your armpit, give it a little squeeze. Rotate your right ankle around in one direction and then the other direction. If you want to get into your hip flexors, rotate your right thigh around in one direction and then the other direction. And then keeping your right knee in your armpit, keep your left heel on the mat. And as you inhale, slide your left heel away from your body. Exhale, bend the left knee so the heel comes back towards the body. Inhale, slide the heel on the floor away from the body. Exhale, slide it back in. One more inhale. One more exhale. This time as you inhale, stretch your right arm on the floor over your head, or if you're on your sit bone, stretch your right arm up in the air and stretch your left leg out. And then exhale, right hand, left heel back towards your body. Inhale, stretch the right arm, left leg out. Exhale, bring them back to the body. One more inhale. One more exhale. This time as you inhale, stretch your right arm, left leg out. If you're on your sit bones, wrap your right arm around your leg and then take an open twist to the left. If you're on your back, right arm stretches out like a T as you bring your right knee across your body. So you don't have to force that twist. You just take the knee a little bit across the body. So I mentioned that physical health can take a toll on mental health. Mental health can take a toll on physical health. That's why we have to manage our stress. And over the years, more and more people have reported experiencing mental health issues. Of course, we know that it all doesn't get reported, right? Everybody doesn't report everything that they do, but the reports are actually a good sign because they're an opportunity for more people to get help, to get more help, which again leads to that stage migration. And here again is where the discrepancies between genders comes up, because men die by suicide almost four times more than women. And the highest rate of suicide is in middle-aged white men, who account for 69.67% of the suicides that I mentioned on the blog. Additionally, veterans are at higher risk for suicide regardless of gender. But that's where we get into this elephant in the room that I've mentioned before, which is gender. Next time you inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, hug your right knee in. If you're seated on your sit bones, keep your left leg stretched out. Everyone else, bend your left knee so the left foot is flat on the floor when you're on your back. No matter which variation you're in, interlace your hands behind your right thigh. As you inhale, stretch your right leg up in the air. Exhale, bend your right knee. Inhale, stretch the right leg up. Exhale, flex. One more inhale, engaging the right quadriceps. One more exhale, engaging the right hamstrings. This time as you inhale, stretch the right leg up. As you exhale, externally rotate the right hip and thigh so the right toes point away from the body. And then bend the right knee so the right ankle is on your left thigh. Use your right hip flexors to press the knee away from the body. If you're sitting on your sit bones, you can fold forward here. If you're on your back, you want to strengthen your pelvic floor, want to strengthen your core a little bit. Use your core and your hip flexors to lift your legs up as you inhale, and then lower the left foot back down to the floor as you exhale. So it's a pelvic tilt, core engagement as you inhale, and then you extend in the other direction as you exhale. Tilt the pelvic bones in the other direction as you exhale. And the next time you inhale, if you're on your back, you can hug your knees in and then thread the needle. Right hand in between your legs, interlacing your hands behind your left thigh or on your shin. Find the angle of the left leg that brings awareness to the right hip. If you're sitting on your sit bones, you can stand the forward fold over your left leg, or you could sit up and then bend the left knee and thread the needle right in between your legs, interlacing your hands behind your left thigh or over your left shin. But either way, no matter where you are, keep your spine long. Keep using your hip flexors to press that right knee away from your body. And then next time you exhale, you can either use your right peace fingers, wrap them around your right big toe, or you can use a strap on your heel to bridge the gap if you know that you need a strap for a supine big toe pose, or you can hold onto your outer arch, ankle, or shin. Either way, everyone, as you exhale, bring your left foot down, and as you inhale, stretch your right leg out to the right. As you exhale, bend that right knee, maybe change the grip or get a better grip. Inhale, stretch the right leg out. Exhale, bring it back in. One more inhale, stretching the right leg out to the right. One more exhale, bending that knee. Adjust as you need to, and then inhale, stretch the right leg out and hold and breathe. If you're sitting on your sit bones, you can stay here. You could take another open twist to the left, which swings your right leg and arm to center, or you could release your bind, lower down to your back, and then take the bind as you take your right arm and leg out to the right for that supine big toe pose. Wherever you are, press your right heel and hip away from each other as you inhale. Keep your shoulders and your jaw relaxed as you exhale. Move through one more full cycle of breath. And then next time you exhale, engage your core. As you inhale, bring your right leg back to center. As you exhale, give your right knee a little hug, release your bind. Inhale, stretch your right leg up. Exhale, let your right leg float down. You can stretch your left leg out to meet the right. Just notice how each side of your body feels, not just the legs, not just the hips, but notice how your whole body feels here. Next time you exhale, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through your low back. As you exhale, hug your left knee into your armpit. Remember, prenatal variation is to start off in this sitting position on your sit bones. Rotate your left ankle around in one direction and then the other direction. And then rotate your left thigh around in one direction and then the other direction. And then keeping your left knee in your armpit. As you inhale, stretch your right leg out. Just slide the right heel along the floor. And then exhale, slide the right heel back towards the body. Inhale, engage the right quadriceps. Exhale, engage the right hamstrings. One more inhale. One more exhale. Keeping the right leg on the heel on the floor. Inhale, stretch the left arm and the right leg away from each other. Exhale, bring them back towards your hips. Inhale, left arm, right leg, stretch out. Exhale, bring them back in. One more inhale, stretching out. One more exhale, coming back to center. This time as you inhale, stretch your right leg, left arm out. Prenatal variation in the sitting position is to wrap the left arm around the left leg. Take that open twist to the right. Everyone else, exhale, left arm out like a T. Bring your left knee across your body. Gaze is up or to the left. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. As I mentioned before, gender is the elephant in the room when we start talking about health discrepancies between men and women. One of the stats that's only recently being tracked is the physical and mental health of transgender people. Just as diet and exercise affect physical and mental health, so too does everyone's level of hormones, which means hormone treatments could increase or decrease risk of certain illnesses, which could increase or decrease risk of certain illnesses. Additionally, physical and mental health improves when people have emotional support on their life's journey. In my opinion, the high rate of suicide within the transgender community, as well as the high rate of violence against transgender people, indicates a lack of support and awareness. And that's changing. Thankfully, that's changing. Also, what's changing is the ability for transgender people, non-binary people, to be part of the conversation that affects them. Next time you inhale, come back to center. If you're on your back, as you exhale, bend your right knee so your right foot's flat on the floor. No matter which variation you're in, interlace your hands behind your left thigh. As you inhale, stretch your left leg up and out. Exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and out. Exhale, bend your left knee. One more inhale. One more exhale. This time as you inhale, stretch your left leg out. As you exhale, externally rotate your left hip and thigh, and then bend your left knee so your left ankle is across your right thigh. If you're sitting on your sit bones with your right leg stretched out, you can fold forward here or just hang out here. If you're on your back, you can keep your right foot on the floor, or as you inhale, use that pelvic tilt and your core engagement to lift your legs up. Exhale, bring them back down, right foot back to the floor. Inhale, lift your legs up. Exhale, lower them down. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then you can stay here for supine pigeon, or as you inhale, bring the knees in towards your chest. Interlace your left hand between your legs to thread the needle. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh or on your shin. Find the angle of the right leg that brings awareness to the left hip. If you're sitting on your sit bones, again, you can hold the forward fold, or you can sit up, bend the right knee, and then interlace the hands behind that right thigh or over the shin. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Move through one more full cycle of breath. And the next time you exhale, you can either grab a hold of your left big toe with your left peace fingers, hold on to your outer arch, ankle, or shin, or you can use a strap here if you know you need something to bridge the gap. As you inhale, stretch your left leg out to the side, bring your right foot to the floor. As you exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale, left leg goes out to the left. Exhale, flex. Again, you can adjust the bind or change the bind. Either way, stretch the left leg out one more time. Exhale, bend the left knee. Inhale, stretch the left leg out and hold. Shoulders down your back. If you're seated on your sit bones, you can stay here. You can take the open twist to the right, which swings your left arm and leg more to center, or you can release the bind, lie down on your back, and then take that Supta Padangusthasana, taking the bind and then stretching the arm and leg, left arm and leg out to the left. Make sure you're pressing your left heel and hip away from each other as you inhale. Relax your jaw and your shoulders as you exhale. Next time you exhale, engage your core. As you inhale, bring your left leg back to center. As you exhale, hug your left knee in, release your bind. Inhale, stretch your left leg up. As you exhale, let it float down. You can stretch the right leg out to meet the left in Dandasana, staff pose, or Shavasana. Just take a moment to scan your body. Notice how you feel. You always have the option to just stay here, or if you want a final back bend other than bridge or wheel pose, you can do what you do. Those of you that are coming with me, once you're on your back, you can stretch out as you inhale, and then exhale, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor. Hands next to your hips, invisible orange under your chin, invisible grapefruit in between your thighs. Great heart-healthy snacks, unless you're on certain heart medication. As you inhale, use the strength of your legs to lift your hips up. As you exhale, shrug your shoulders under your back. Remember, you can always put a prop between your thighs to strengthen your adductors. You can take chest expansion here. You can use your hands or a prop to support your low back. If you're coming in a full wheel pose, inhale your arms overhead. As you exhale, bend your elbows, fingertips under your shoulders, elbows squeeze in. Wheel poses as you inhale, come up to the crown of your head. As you exhale, get a nice firm grip. Inhale or exhale lifts you all the way up. If you supported your low back with your hands or a prop, feel free to lift your legs up for a suspended bridge or stretch your legs out for an extended bridge. When he spun his jokes, Will Rogers spun a rope. He earned a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records by simultaneously throwing a rope around a horse's neck, a second rope around a rider, and slipping a third rope under the horse so he could loop all four legs together. He randomly roped a wild steer in Madison Square Garden before it could hurt any spectators, gaining front page attention and a job on a rooftop. Just him, his rope, and his horse. Well, and his jokes. He eventually performed with the Ziegfeld Follies, appeared on Broadway, and showed he could riff about anything and anybody, including President Woodrow Wilson. But Will Rogers followed the old adage that if you were joking about someone, you punched up, not punched down, something that some people seem to have forgotten these days. Wheel poses lower down to bridge. Bridge poses, listen, you have the option to keep your hips supported and your legs lifted up, or you can transition into that suspended bridge. Everyone else, if you're in that extended bridge and you don't want to transition into a suspended bridge, bend your knees, remove your support, inhale your arms overhead. And as you exhale, slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. If your hips are on the mat, gently, mindfully windshield wiper your knees. And then if your hips are on the mat, lift your legs up in the air, shoulders down your back. If you're not comfortable on your back, with or without support, with your legs up in the air, you can take a wide-legged child's pose here or a seated forward fold. Will Rogers once said, a gag to be any good has to be fashioned about some truth. The rest you get by your slant on it, and perhaps by a wee bit of exaggeration, so people won't miss the point. He also once said that everyone is ignorant only on different subjects. Next time you exhale, bend your knees. If your back is supported, go ahead and remove your support. Reach your arms overhead as you inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. If you're just now bringing your hips down, gently, mindfully windshield wiper your legs. And then prenatal variation is to roll to the left to sit up. Everyone else, you have the option to roll over or bring your hands to your bottom. Slide your fingers up to the creases in your knees, and just like a child on a swing, rock up and back 5 or 6 times. Angle your body so you tap each corner of the mat at least once with both feet. And then after that 5th or 6th rock, come up to a stump pose with your knees in your armpits. Cross your right ankle in front of the left, and then let your knees drop out to the side as you exhale for that Sukhasana, easy pose, crisscross applesauce. If you'd prefer a different cross-legged position to get more into your hips, feel free to do what you do. Either way, lift your heart up as you inhale. You can stay here, or as you exhale, fold forward, stretching your arms out in front of you or bringing your forearms down to the floor or prop. Either way, find a little bit of a back bend here, just a little extra extension through your spine. There's a statistic on the Movember website, the US Movember website, that I always come back to because even though I understand it, it still is mind-boggling to me. It says that 70% of men say their friends can rely on them, but only 48% say that they rely on their friends. And I think it points to the stigma and social mores or norms that make it challenging for a healthy man to be, or for a man to be healthy in today's society. Remember, Dr. M. Scott Peck said that life is difficult, and that's true for everyone. But the individual aspects of every person's life comes with distinct physical and mental health risks. Life is easier and people are healthier when we pay attention to what we're feeling, and also when we share what we're feeling with people who respect us and treat us well. As you inhale, lift your body up. Exhale, hug your knees into your armpits. Cross your left ankle in front of your right. And then as you exhale, let your knees drop out to the side for that Sukhasana easy pose. If you took a different cross-legged position on the other side, take it on this side. Sit up nice and tall as you inhale. And then as you exhale, fold forward. And that little bit of a back bend here. It's good too to be able to laugh with people who not only respect and treat you well, but also respect and treat people around them with some kind of human dignity. I always say if you can't count 5 or even 3 people with whom you can have a mutually beneficial conversation, and between those 5 or 3 conversations cover every subject under the sun, you might want to consider how the lack of support translates into your quality of life and general well-being. If you don't have someone in your life with whom you can laugh, consider how that translates into your quality of life and general well-being. Next time you inhale, lift your body up. As you exhale, hug your knees into your armpits, give them a little squeeze. Prenatal variation is to keep the feet apart and the knees apart for stump pose. Everyone else, you can bring your knees together. No matter which variation you're in, wrap your arms around your legs, drop your forehead down, and just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Take a deep breath in. Look up, open your mouth, sigh it out. Look down, take a deep breath in through your nose. Look up, open your mouth, sigh it out. Look down, take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Look up, open your mouth, and sigh it out. And then just let your breath naturally flow in and naturally ebb out. And then if you want to finish the practice in a pose other than Shavasana, do what you do. Everyone else, go ahead and lower down to your back. Once you're on your back, as you inhale, stretch out one leg, doesn't matter which one. Exhale, let that leg relax. Inhale, stretch out the other leg. Exhale, let that leg relax. Take a moment to get rid of your physical fidgets so your body can be still. And then so your mind can be quiet. Fix your gaze on something that's not moving. You can gaze at your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, about an inch into your forehead, half an inch above there, or your heart center, or the tip of your nose. Take a moment to notice which parts of your body are touching the mat, touching the floor, touching a prop, even a chair, and allow yourself to be supported. Allow yourself to be held here. And as you relax and release into that support, notice your breath. Notice how it feels to inhale. Notice that little pause. And then notice how it feels to exhale. Notice your soft belly rising as you inhale, falling as you exhale. Notice the intercostal muscles expanding along the outer ribs as you inhale. And then releasing, softening as you exhale. Notice how it feels to breathe into your low back. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you'd like to be guided out of your relaxation pose, reawaken your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep open mouth sigh. Deep breath in through your nose. Deep sigh out. Gently rock your head side to side. Gently bring motion to your fingers and toes. Being mindful of the space around you, inhale your arms overhead and take a full body stretch. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Walk your feet in towards your seat, extending through your low back. Prenatal variation is to roll to the left. Everyone else roll to the right. Just take a moment to be here. Take a moment to breathe here. Notice how you feel here. And then when you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Hands together at heart center. Take a moment to rub your palms together, create a little heat, a little energy, a little awareness. And then bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and soak up that heat, that energy, that awareness. You can take your hands to either part of your being, any other part of your body that needs a little extra heat or energy or awareness. You could keep one hand at your heart and bring one hand to your head, just making that connection. And then shake out your hands and we'll seal in the practice. You can bring your hands back together at heart center or switch which hand is at your heart, which hand is at your belly. Right around the time that Movember started becoming popular in the United States, right around the time that I started teaching Movember classes, the Men's Health, the magazine, printed 7 tips for better men's health. But really, these are good tips for everyone, regardless of gender. The first is to get your annual physical. The second is don't smoke, followed by stay active. The fourth tip is to eat heart healthy foods. The fifth is to manage your stress. The 6th tip is to drink in moderation. And the 7th is to know your family history. And today I'm just going to add an 8th tip, something to remember from Will Rogers, who said, there are 3 kinds of men: the ones that learn by reading, the few who learn by observation, the rest of them have to pee on the electric fence for themselves. Just don't be that person. As you inhale, lift your thumbs to your third eye, and as you exhale, bow forward. Namaste. And that's the practice. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice. If you appreciate the information in this video, please like it and share it with others. If you're interested in a more vigorous or a more low-key variation on this theme, tell me with a 7-word comment, and I'll see you next time.